What is up, fuckers? Smark Podcast is here to review SmackDown Live because we skipped Raw because Raw is awful. I'm here. I'm Alex. I've got Drew with me. Drew's trying to remember what's on the show. Say hi, Drew.
Hello, everybody.
We had a conversation before we started where he was like he's going to turn the volume up, and then he enters the show with that. Hello.
Hello, Governor.
Hello. That was
Fancy
hilarious.
some tea and crumpets.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, go for the most racist thing.
I did that terribly, yeah, I know.
Pip pip cheerio.
Throwing something out. We better not have any
any.
English fucking listeners because we'd be go get fucked.
But we're not making fun.
We're not making fun, but we're not exactly being flattering either. So SmackDown was fucking awesome again. Yeah, man. I'm happy with SmackDown.
Awesome, which, I guess it was so awesome that I forgot about what happened at the beginning of the show. Because
Well, I think it's because you're just passively like, yay, this is amazing. And then you don't overanalyze everything. So, yeah, it does seem to not stick with you as well as a shitty show would.
Oh,
But,
AJ admiring his ass. That's what started the show.
Yeah, that was AJ saying, damn, I got a good ass. Yeah, that was it. And then Dean Ambrose coming down, dirty deeds.
So vain. Don't you agree?
Face.
People who do that are so vain.
Who do what?
Appreciate their own asses.
No,
So
I
vain.
mean, hey, man, if you got it, flaunt it. Go for
What a
it.
dick thing to do, then.
Nah, I don't think so. So, I mean, I'm not going to call AJ a dick because he's amazing. He's the best wrestler on the fucking planet. So he can do whatever he wants. But yeah, he started talking. What's his face? The runt came out and I'm going to beat you for a fourth time and all that stuff. And then Dean came out and just was like, no, you're just going to eat canvas. And that was great. And what was really good about it?
Fantastic opener.
Yeah, what was really great about it was JBL being like, God damn it, how did he fucking have restraint? I was expecting blood. I was like, me too, JBL. That was funny. I enjoyed that a lot. I enjoyed JBL just trashing Ellsworth all night. I think we're all kind of in that position now. So, yeah. Screw Ellsworth. He's going to do what's coming to him.
I had a little bit of fantasy booking, I guess.
You did?
If you want to call it that. Today, I actually came up with it because in my own miraculous and wonderful brain. Basically that all of the top players on SmackDown would want Ellsworth to win. Because they know that they can all beat him.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Only if Bray Wyatt didn't get involved with that and just laughed at them for chasing a material thing, and him saying, "This is what I was talking about the entire time." Like, this is how broken the system is. People are valuing it so much they're, crossing each other.
Well, I wouldn't have even included. I wouldn't have even included Bray in that. My idea was for Ambrose, Miz, and Corbin to try and help Ellsworth win.
Doesn't make sense for Ambrose. It doesn't make sense for Ambrose at all.
Well, I agree with that now, having seen what we saw tonight.
Yeah.
I came up with this way before SmackDown.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that it would have been really poetic if he was like, oh, yeah, no, buddy, we're still friends. Here, let me help you win this title before I beat the fucking shit out of you. That would have been funny. But
and then
yeah.
Miz and Corbin, too, because last night...
Totally makes sense for both of them.
Last night.
Yeah.
On Talking Smack after TLC,
mm-hmm.
Corbin said that he should be in the main event. So I thought that it would have been fitting for him to try and coerce, I don't know, maybe like have some sort of thing where each of them go to him backstage and like hype him up. And then like somehow they all try and interfere on his behalf.
That would be so silly.
I know, and most of like wrestling Twitter in the world would melt that how dare Ellsworth beat AJ? But I mean, come on, if it goes well with the story,
Yeah, I mean, why not?
we don't need any Cena redemption stories or for Taker at Royal Rumble or blah 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 blah. Shut up. The point is, a great story is here, a great plot between Ambrose, Miz, and Corbin, where they would all try to help Ellsworth win, and then that would set up sort of a triple threat to determine the number one contender between the three of them.
Yeah, I mean, I still would not want to see him with the title, but that's a story that could convince me to keep watching. But yeah, I mean, like, that's a moot point now.
Yeah.
I mean, the funny thing to me is I love how, I mean, I swear to God, first thing on the show, Ellsworth comes out, "You ducking me, Styles?" It's like, oh my God. Yeah, AJ Styles, the best wrestler in the fucking entire history of the world, is ducking you. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. But, I mean, the Ambrose coming out, not even saying a word, just dusting him was great. Just the show. I mean, the show never flagged. It like this was it. It was consistently excellent.
Then there are only 2 times that I know of in WWE history where somebody has just walked out, hit their finisher on the guy, and just ducked out of the ring. And
Dude, it's always excellent though. It's always so much fun.
I know The Rock did it.
It's like that. It's like that one. That one scene where Shawn Michaels is backstage with Triple H, and Triple H is saying that Shawn wasn't controversial, so Shawn just goes down the hallway super kicking everybody. Oh, I love that. That's one of my favorite scenes ever. More of that. So anytime a dude just comes in, it's just like, I'm hitting my finisher on everyone. I'm pretty happy with that. So
they didn't even stop the music. His music played through the whole thing.
Yep. That was a good touch, you know. It's another great touch to it. But yeah, like the opening segment really doesn't deserve too much to talk about because I mean, basically what it was saying was, hey, AJ's kind of hurt a little bit here, so we're not going to have him wrestle tonight. But they backed up with a wonderful storyline that, you know, that made up for it. And that would be what happened on Miz TV with Miz and Dean Ambrose getting into it a little bit. I really liked that Miz TV segment for a couple reasons. Number one, because I loved Dean Ambrose saying that Miz had never seen him angry, and the implication that, like, no, I've never been angry, like, during my WWE run. Like, the things I've done, the chaos I've caused was me being, like, mildly pissed off, not actually kind of enraged.
I kind of think that he was pretty much enraged once Seth broke up the Shield.
I think so, but it's also, I can see him being like, no, that wasn't really angry. That was me just being like, you know what, fuck him.
I guess the really angry would be when he eventually turns heel.
That's the implication, in my opinion, is when he's saying, no, you've actually haven't seen me angry. That will be his heel turn, I'm thinking.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah, exactly. So that was...
He has to have green face paint.
Yeah, totally. No,
he shouldn't.
No,
I'm kidding.
What I really loved else on that was when the Miz gave out a participation award and the crowd chanted, "You deserve it."
Oh my God, that was so great.
My God, that was so wonderful.
Want one of those. WWE, if you happen to listen to this, I will buy a Miz participation award off of WWE shop. So please.
Oh, dude, he needs to give out participation awards to the audience. Hey, you bought a ticket, you participated. Well done. Oh man, and then when he showed the award and it was in Comic Sans. Yes. Oh, I don't think most people are going to get the font part of it. You're a nerd with that stuff. Yeah, no. Like that's the font that, like, everyone says don't ever use. So he used Comic Sans. Oh, that's wonderful. That's a wonderful bit of healing to me. So that was great. And then Daniel Bryan came out and absolutely destroyed worlds. It was great.
Oh man. I'm telling you, There has to be some way for Daniel Bryan to get back in the ring, even if it's just for one more time, just to beat
Give
the
him
shit
like
out
an
of Miz.
actual shoot wrestling match instead of like, you know, lifting people up. Have it be like like jujitsu. Like, just stay away from bashing his head. Like anything, please.
He has something.
Yeah.
Because I am begging for him versus Miz at WrestleMania.
Yeah, what
Begging.
was so great is that Daniel Bryan, and this is kind of the backline to the story, is that Daniel Bryan has said that, I don't want this to be about me. I stay off camera as much as I can. And the only person he can't help but get involved is The Miz because he hates him so much. So he's breaking his own rules to get back at Miz.
But here's the thing, though. SmackDown does everything pro wrestling right.
Yeah.
And it actually doesn't matter that Daniel Bryan inserts himself in these things because we want him to insert himself in these
Yes,
things.
but it also fits the storyline. And I think that's the difference is that you get people on like Raw where people complain like, why is it always got to be about the Authority or why is it always got to be about the general manager? This isn't. This is just this one specific scenario where it makes sense because Daniel can't help it because storyline-wise, he's so invested in like
This will
fucking hate
probably
you, Miz.
be
It makes sense.
the most natural storyline into a match on the biggest stage, WrestleMania. It would probably be. I don't know if there's another one that you could point to that's so organic of just a guy. I mean, well, basically, this is, I guess, aside from Stone Cold, but Stone Cold could not come back because he was going to die if he, it's kind of like an Edge thing.
Yeah.
I
mean,
like
with Daniel Bryan
like this before.
Yeah, but with Daniel Bryan, he's got a lesion on his brain. Like, it's not going to kill him to wrestle one more time, but it could severely reduce his health for the rest of his life. So, I totally get why WWE doesn't want to go that route. But I've also heard that like certain conditions like his heal over time. So it may be a thing where in 2 years that lesion is healed and he can actually wrestle sporadically, which would be amazing. But
could you imagine I'm just thinking of the Hall of Fame speech. If he were to end up actually coming out of retirement, a literal retirement, not storyline retirement, like some people, not like, Ric Flair retirement or Shawn Michaels retirement, legit, I can't wrestle anymore retirement into, what I had, it ended up getting better, and we went through all this fanfare and thank you, Daniel, and all this stuff, and I was able to get back in just for a little while longer, just for a couple more matches, and have, I mean, what a roller coaster ride that would be.
Yeah, and I feel like if at the worst you could go the Goldberg Lesnar route of this and be like, no, yeah, like seriously, make the match because it's gonna sell and it's gonna be awesome. But just have Bryan just squash him. Like at WrestleMania, just squash him. The Miz is a cockroach. He will always rise back up. It doesn't matter. And that's what people would want to see. So have him go in there, hit all his signature moves that Miz has been stealing. Hit the Psycho knee, end it.
As he constantly loves to tell us, he wrestles a soft style, so he'll be around forever.
Yeah, of course, right? So, like, I mean, I would pitch that if I were on the writing team. I'd say, hey, like, Daniel, could you get in the ring, hit a couple of running drop kicks, hit a couple kicks where he's on his knees and you just do the yes kicks and whatever, hit him with a Psycho knee and then be done? Like, no bumps for you. Just go out and
I guess kill him. It wouldn't even need to be a match. But
yeah, it'd be like a greatest hits of Daniel Bryan kind of thing. And
enraged and just like, I can finally just kick the shit out of you.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think that would work. And it's the Miz. He's so good and he's a heel that, like, I mean, I don't think anybody's saying the Miz is world champion. So it's not like, I mean, I've never considered him world champion material. So
if he keeps this up, if he actually goes to the end of next year with this monster run as a legitimate heel, I would actually, I would be completely fine with him holding the top title.
I will never root for him to get the title, but with as hot as he's been lately, like, I wouldn't hate it, but I would still be like, I don't know about this, y'all. So, like, I would never want to see him get it over. God, I could run down a laundry list of people that I would rather see with the world or universal championship than Miz. So, that's okay. But that's why, again, I think part of that is my own perspective of the Miz is coloring my thought with the Daniel Bryan thing. But basically, back to tonight, because that's really what we need to get to, is just that the way that I just love the nuance of the story here, that Daniel is able to, he's breaking his own rules because he's that invested and stuff, and I like that.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, Daniel probably said the one title run that Miz had was like nails on chalkboard. Yeah, it really was, but he's also better than he was then. But at the same time, he's also the same dick heel that you just don't want to see, I think. When he's on the bottom of the card or middle of the card, you can tolerate it because it's like, oh, this asshole. If he was the main heel, the top heel of the fucking company, God help me, no way. Like, I couldn't.
Why?
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to imagine him having segments like Daniel, or not Daniel Bryan, but like Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, except it's him and he's awful. Does that make sense? Like, I can't. I wouldn't be down for that. Like, what he's doing right now is shooting with Daniel Bryan. He's working with one of the best of all time. I don't think this works as well if it's not Daniel Bryan. I think if he's doing the exact same things with Dean Ambrose, it wouldn't be as popular.
Well, but I mean, he can shoot on anybody.
Yes, he can, but that's not good all the time.
He shot on Dolph Ziggler.
I know, and I didn't ever really enjoy the Dolph Ziggler-Miz feud because of Miz's healing. I enjoyed it because of the stakes of it that they worked on, and that I liked it more for the Daniel Bryan Miz aspect of it than him working with Ziggler.
Do you not like Miz's healing?
I don't dislike it. I don't like it. Like, here's what I'm trying to get at is I don't dislike it. I think he does some good stuff. His stuff with Daniel in particular has been phenomenal. What I mean is that I don't think I would enjoy it as much if he was the main guy who's going out every week, starting the show, doing his shtick, like Kevin Owens does, and like Chris Jericho does, and like
but here's the thing,
Reigns or Rollins does. It would be awful. It would be intolerable. I think I couldn't handle it.
Difference between the Miz as a heel and Kevin Owens as a heel. Big difference.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a huge difference.
I mean, just basically from where they're coming from, but they try to do the same types of things.
No, they do not.
They're both delusional. They're both very self-important. They both use other people.
That's what a heel is. That's what a heel is.
Yes, but that's also...
I'm talking
There's a difference between types of heels. Like, it's not one size fits all. There's a very... Like, okay, Bray Wyatt is not that kind of guy. He's a very, on the outskirts of town... kind of mysterious and dangerous. That's, I think, better fit for a top heel. If you look at guys historically who had really good heel runs, I mean, I just don't think Miz lines up well.
The reason why they are so different from each other.
Miz is a goober. Can I just say it that way? Miz is a goober.
Miz is not a goober.
He is a goofball. He is, and it's good when it's like
he's an
mid-card.
ass. As Daniel Price just said, he is naturally an ass.
I don't even think he's an ass because an ass kind of also indicates that I'm offended slightly at you. I'm not. I'm never offended by Miz. I just am like, it's mildly entertaining.
You obviously are, since if he was in the main event, you would be very offended.
Yeah, but that's different. That's not. That's a different thing. And I wouldn't be offended that I'm saying that I wouldn't be offended necessarily at him having it. I don't think I would enjoy it.
Owens and Jericho and most other heels, except for, I would say, Braun and to a sense Corbin, try to be cool. You don't see any cool with Miz. You don't see
Yes,
any
you
cool.
do. He's trying to win. I mean, it's kind of meta, but he is trying to be cool.
I don't get cool from him one bit. I look at him and I compare
He's
him to
wearing
Kevin
styles that Hollywood types, quote unquote, would wear and all that, and he's trying to be the
But that's not
California cool
That's
style
That's
guy.
not trying to be cool. That's trying to be a douchebag.
No, but it's all. Just agree to disagree. I can't. I would not like to see him with the world title. That's my point. I would not like to see him win the title before Orton, Cena, Wyatt, Ambrose, Styles, Corbin.
You really think that he's wearing
Ziggler.
that stuff to look cool?
No, I think he's wearing that. It's meta again, where his persona is being the cool Hollywood guy in his own delusional heel mind, but in reality, he's a dick. But whatever. I'm not a fan. Like, I'm not a fan. I don't think I'd be a fan of him ever winning the world title. I could see him fighting for the world title. He's very similar to Ellsworth to me, where Ellsworth is totally fine as long as he ain't winning titles or winning over like guys I care about. I feel like Miz is the same, where I'm like, I'm cool with him winning the lower belt. I don't know how I'd feel about him winning the top belt. I feel like he'd have to do something new.
Ridiculous.
He'd have to do something new.
If he did putting that stamp on him.
No, I'm not. I'm just no. Don't make me out like that. What I'm saying is, if he does the stuff he has done so far, I do not think I'll enjoy it. That is not putting a stamp on it.
What does he have to do to make you enjoy it?
Something new, something different than what he does. Because I don't think, come on, man. Like we spent an entire year working with Seth Rollins running essentially the same thing that The Miz is running now. And then Kevin Owens got the belt, and he's doing the exact same thing. And if The Miz wanted to be another one of these, I'm better, and I talk, and man, I just do fucking promos to start the show, and blah, blah, blah. And I have my wife cheat for me, man. Like, I don't care. At a certain point, it's not even fun if it's the same all the time. And like, that's one of the big things is AJ Styles has been a little different about it. And that's one of the great things about the Ellsworth, being.
You don't think AJ Styles is a cool heel?
That's not what I'm going after. I'm saying, no, he clearly is a cool heel. Like, of course he's a cool heel. That's not what I'm going after here. I'm saying that AJ Styles does it a little differently mainly because of the storyline he's been involved in, where he's been the guy reacting to something happening to him. He's not the guy going out there every day and blah, 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 blah. What's happening to him is he's having to deal with the Ellsworth Ambrose thing, and now that's over, and now he's – point being, I'm not a big fan of The Miz overall. I think he's good. I like him in small doses. I would not like him as the guy opening the show every week. I would not like it unless he did something different. Because this is all this persona he has right now is kind of what he's always had. And I feel like he wouldn't change much from it if he became world champion.
So the fact that he has a more comfortable and a more unscripted nature to the obvious, like, holding back that he's had to do for years doesn't change anything for you?
Not really, because when I think about it, like, as a wrestler, I find him to be an average wrestler. When I think of him as a talker, I find him generally average there too, even though his strength is ad-libbing and stuff. But like, I've never been really moved much by what The Miz has said. I remember you showing me Talking Smack the first time he got in Daniel Bryan's face, and you were like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" And I went, "Huh, that's pretty good. That's okay." I don't know. He just doesn't move me the same way he moves you. And I feel like I would get bored easily if he's just coming out to do,
All right. All right. I see that you cannot be swayed.
DX Goldie said, "Did you seriously use that entire phrase? Which one of us said what? I don't even know."
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, let me know which phrase that I said or Drew said. But yeah, like, and it's not to say that I would.
I think he's talking to Daniel Price.
Okay,
They're having a fun conversation.
There they are. I'm not saying that I would absolutely just totally reject it, but it would have to be done well with a good story and with Miz not being what he is right now. I don't think I would enjoy it as it is now.
All right. Well, if it happens, I would hope that it changed your mind, because I think that he is doing, while it may be similar to what he's been doing in the past, I think that it is 10 times better. And I think that he, as a true asshole heel, would be a very good main event guy. I don't think that his first run in the main event was good. From what I saw of it,
wasn't good.
Because remember, I wasn't watching.
It wasn't just not good. It was torturously painful to watch.
Just like Seth last year was torturously painful for me to watch.
Yeah, that's fair.
And pretty much, I mean, I was turning off Raw last year because I just couldn't take him anymore.
I would like to, you know what I would like to see? I would like to see a top heel who behaves as Kevin Owens did on his NXT debut, where he picked fights with everyone and said, "I'm better than every single one of you motherfuckers. Come at me. I don't give a shit." And it was almost a very Austin-esque type of attitude. And he's just injuring people. He's like, "I'm not even dealing with you." Like, I want that. So, I don't know.
Well, I hope SmackDown can provide that for us.
Yeah, I want that. I want either that, or I want a heel who, like, manipulates the system and points out how flawed it is or something like that. I think that would be good. A good different angle as well. I would like one who just shuts down the show whenever he wants to, just walks out there. You have you have cruiserweights in the ring, just throws them out of the ring. No, my time. I don't care. You don't get to see the end of that match because I said so.
I think Corbin has a great attitude for something like
Corbin could do that wonderfully. Corbin would be spectacular with that. And, that's also why, like, I've always thought if you ever do Balor Club again, have Corbin in the group and doing that shit. Like, that would be amazing. I don't know, man. I feel like it's time to get out of the archetypes that they've built. And I just feel like Miz is another one of the archetypes, just not as good as Seth or, or someone
Seth
else.
is not that great.
He's not as good. The Miz is not as good as Seth Rollins. He is not as good as Seth Rollins. I will fight you.
But Seth is not that good either.
I don't think Seth Rollins is the best either, but he is not as good as Seth Rollins.
Sorry, Mr. Gentrification.
Yeah, so he's in the same vein as Seth, except maybe a slightly better talker and a way worse wrestler.
I don't think he's a good talker at all.
I think Seth is decent. I think he's okay. He doesn't ad-lib as well as Miz.
You know what I think it is? I think it's that I haven't gotten over.
I think it's oversaturation. You saw too much of him.
Just his. It's terrible that they didn't turn him face when he came back too. Like, they just ruined him. Really, I don't see myself ever being like, Roman or some big. Well, not Roman, because what I'm going to say next is not Roman, but some big baby face on Raw getting beat down, and you hear, and then you just hear, like, the whole crowd erupt. I would never be erupting because it wouldn't excite me to see him come out and save the baby face.
Well, here's what I would say. I would say that the fact that we've argued this long on The Miz tells you he's doing something right. So...
you don't have to tell me that.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's just at least say that.
You're telling yourself that.
Yeah. No, I get you. Because, it's still hysterical to me that the Smarks were cheering Miz over Ziggler. Like, that's how the mighty have fallen, man. That's rough for Ziggler. Ziggler needs to start taking chances, man. Just as a little quick aside, Ziggler, I know he's like about to retire. It's time for him to start do something different.
Ziggler needs to turn heel.
I would think so, but like do something different because they've held you down for so long and you haven't changed. It's time to take a risk and go for broke, I feel. So,
and SmackDown is a great show to do that.
It's the place to do it. You know what was funny was that Daniel Bryan was on Sam Roberts' wrestling podcast, and it was released recently, where basically they were asking him, you know, how is he so good on talking smack and all that shit? And he's like, well, you know, I think the biggest thing is just that like most people can't really take risks. Like back in the day, if you took a risk and you got fired, oh well, I'll just go to WCW, no big deal. But like now you can't because there is nowhere to make the money that you make in WWE, so that you don't see those risks and whatever. And he's like, I don't care at this point. Like I'll just say stuff and they'll tell me not to say it, and it's just like whatever. So that's kind of what Daniel Bryan's been able to do, and we need a little more of that in wrestling, and a little more diversity and stuff. And I think that's where Ziggler needs to go. He needs to start shooting, honestly. So, yeah.
Let's move on, shall we?
Okay. You want to talk about the women?
Yeah, sure. That was another great segment.
There were two women's feuds that were furthered on this show, and they were both fantastic in my estimation. You had Carmella talking shit again. Wonderful. That's exactly what she needs to do. That's exactly the type of heel she needs to be. Just always perpetually talking shit.
And she knows how to just shut down that crowd.
Oh, she does, man. They started chanting, "How you doing?" Excuse me, I'm talking here. With that Jersey accent. Hell yeah, Carmella. You're so good.
Leave the Jersey, Brooklyn stuff to me.
Well, go for it. Let me hear it from you.
No. So.
Oh, you're such a heel. Okay.
I know. So, yeah. Do we think that it's Natalya that actually attacked Nikki, or are they going to pull a swerve and have it be somebody else?
I think the conventional wisdom says she is, but I think also that it's almost blatantly conventional at this point, which means maybe it's not. If I had to put money on it, I'd probably put money on it that it is, but at the same time, it's almost 50-50 in my estimation like that. I don't know.
And let me tell you who I think it is.
I know who you
and
think
I think
it
this
is.
is.
I know who you think it is.
What? Tell me.
Becky Lynch.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay. Who was it? John Cena?
I think it was Naomi.
Did he beat up his girlfriend?
Oh, stop it.
You think it was Naomi?
Yep. You know why?
Why?
Because she today, conveniently, started kind of acting a little bit heelish on Twitter. And apparently they put Alicia Fox in a Total Divas promo picture when Alicia Fox was not on Total Divas, and it like ignored her. They didn't have her on it.
Mm.
And now she's kind of like shooting back on the company on Twitter and retweeting a whole bunch of people on her side. So I'm wondering if maybe they're starting to use that as a heel turn for her.
I mean, I just want to ignore that Naomi exists, but
maybe that would help the glow for you.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up. My big thing with that is that, I mean, if we're trying to do storytelling like that, that isn't good storytelling. She's not been around.
That's exactly the point.
That's not good storytelling. Like the whole purpose of it is to have it connect, and you know, it's someone that's been around and doing stuff, and like their motivations get revealed. Like there is a storytelling thing called Chekhov's gun, where basically the premise is if you see a gun on a wall, or if an author shows you a gun on the wall and like mentions it during a story when they're telling a setting, you better be prepared for that gun to be shot at somebody at some point during the book. That's kind of the thing I'm going at here. Like,
you just hate the glow.
No. Like that's what really good storytelling is like, what, you know, the NXT takeover where Kevin Owens debuted. The pay-per-view started with a shot at a sign on the wall that said, "You're not here to earn a spot, you're here to take a spot." That's Chekhov's gun. They mention that, you don't think about it as you go. Turns out Kevin Owens did that exact thing by the end of the show. He didn't earn a spot. He injured someone and took their spot. That's the premise of good storytelling, is when it all flows together. When you're just saying, "Hey, it was Naomi and she's not been around," that's lazy. You're just going for shock value. That's not good.
I think it being Natalia would be lazy, because that's how they're obvious. You know, it's like of course it's the obvious thing, but you're going to dance around it for a month. I think that's lazy.
Nah. I mean, I don't think so if it's a story that's properly told. I don't think unsurprising things are inherently bad if they're told well. I think actually having some unsurprising things are great, so that you get in the habit of thinking, okay, I know where this is going, and then when they surprise you, it really gets you. I would say so far they've lined up Natalia's motivations very, very well. She quoted Owen Hart, who had that really memorable heel run himself. She quoted him on the pre-show, I think, during TLC, when they talked to her about Carmella lying. They asked Natalia, like, "How do you know she's lying?" And her response was, "Because Carmella's a liar." Like, that's awful logic. Like, that's purposefully awful logic. So all that's really, really good. You know, I think what I would want to happen is that, you know, Nikki gets further and further convinced it's Natalia, and gets to the point where, like, she's about to beat Natalia up, or even she does, and then all of a sudden the real perpetrator comes out and decks her, and it was me. But it needs to be someone who has connections to. They need to have a motivation for attacking Nikki, and they need it to be a very good motivation. Natalia has a very good motivation. I would say Becky has a really good motivation. Who else has a really good motivation on the show? Do you have an answer?
I don't really. I mean, I kind of feel like it should be somebody that we haven't seen in a while. Only because
it was Eva Marie. Oh my God, I would love.
Oh no!
Yes.
No.
Eva Marie.
No.
I'll read everything.
Okay, first of all,
yes.
I will mute your ass.
Yes.
Because I heard I listened to that little podcast.
Prayers for Eva.
I heard the little prayers for Eva you and Chris were doing. That nonsense.
It's not nonsense. Eva Marie is amazing. She is wonderful and a gem, and it's sad that you don't understand her magnificence.
Yeah, shut up. That didn't work with me.
Oh, man. I would love Eva Marie because it makes sense. Because she's always feuded with Bella on Total Divas. It would make sense. She would have a motivation.
So Alexa is a
hashtag prayers for Eva. You got it, DX Goldie. You're my boy, Blue.
I'm gonna delete all of you, motherfucker.
No.
Delete. No. Delete.
There you go, stealing gimmicks again.
Okay. I would delete you. I would delete you all.
You don't even do it with the conviction that Matt Hardy does.
I can't yell like Matt Hardy does because I'm in a fucking apartment building. I'm doing it the light version.
And you want it to be Naomi.
Alexa is a small human being.
She is.
I did not know this until tonight.
No, she's small. She's like 5'2".
She is just barely reaching the bottom rope from the floor.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
I love that. I love that she's small. That's why she should have like. She is her build weight is 5'1", 102 pounds. Yeah, she's small.
Yeah, that's small. I think that she had a very, very good night tonight as well. And I think Becky is showing some more fire. This is the Becky that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, I thought she was great tonight. I thought Alexa was great tonight too. My thought is that Alexa is definitely small, and I think that should become the narrative, is that she can't take abuse and like she can't consistently defend the title because, you know, she can't recover as well as someone like Becky Lynch could. And I think that should be the story until she says, I've got a solution to that. Here's Fandango and Tyler Breeze. They're going to help me out. That's what I would do.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I'd enjoy that. Man, I got to see Tyler Breeze and Chad Gable tonight. That was a treat. I'm happy that.
Yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed that too. Every match tonight was really good. I even the Ascension and the Hype Brothers. You know, I really hate Mojo Rawley. I hate Mojo.
Everyone hates Mojo.
But the Ascension, as weird as they look tonight, I always think that they're somewhat of an underrated tag team because I think that their chemistry together is really great. And it's kind of a shame where they've been put. Weren't they tag team champions in NXT?
Ooh, Ascension?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ascension were the longest reigning NXT tag team champions in history. Would you like to know who beat them?
Can I guess? Let me see.
Yeah, go for it. Who do you think did it?
Who do I think beat the Ascension?
Would you like me to name some tag teams that were around when they were?
It's been a long time since they've been on NXT.
The Vaudevillains were around. The team of Kalisto and Sin Cara were around. I believe at the same time Finn Balor and Hideo Itami were hanging out. This was the low days of NXT tag teams. Now is when they're, you know, kind of at their peak with the Revival.
You know what? I'm gonna say Kalisto Sin Cara.
You are 100% correct.
I love being right.
And then they lost them to, I don't even know who. I think the Vaudevillains. They did not hold them for long, so it's pretty interesting there. But then that was when American Alpha was just starting to, you know, become a team. And Enzo and Cass was around. Should have mentioned them. That'd probably.
Yeah, but they've never won anything.
Yeah, they've never won anything,
which is just kind of weird to me. But you know,
all they've was an underwear beatdown by Rusev.
Yeah, that was a great segment. I really enjoyed that.
Enzo's a fucking idiot.
I wonder what's going on in NXT right now. I really don't know.
Well, I can tell you.
Well, we're going to watch it tomorrow, aren't we?
Well, yeah, I mean, we can watch it tomorrow. Shinsuke Nakamura just won the NXT Championship back from Samoa Joe in Japan.
Yeah, shocking. That's what's shocking.
No, yeah. Like, that was just – they just gave Samoa Joe the championship back to give him the, you know, you're the only two-time. Thanks for being a good team player. And then also so that it would be more happy when Shinsuke won.
You see how you feel? How do you feel about Joe being the first ever two-time NXT champion?
He is a shit stain on the history of NXT. He needs to be removed permanently. Fuck that guy.
Are you sure you're telling us
Mark?
Are you sure you're telling us how you really feel?
Nah. I mean, I could also tell you all the ways I would love to see him get tortured and beaten by all the other fucking people on the main roster. Oh, Samoa Joe, I hate you. Samoa Joe!
Yeah, you don't share the same hatred of Seth Rollins, which truly shocks me.
I mean, I don't like Seth. He's not my go-to or second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth pick.
Like the guy who is the reason why Finn Balor's not around right now.
The reason why he's not around was a fluke, but I'm also It's also different because Seth put him over. Samoa Joe is just like, "Rrr." So
You make weird
that's Samoa
sounds.
Joe. Rrr. He's
Weird sounds.
he's the Samoan Frankenstein. That's what he is. Yeah. How did we get on NXT? Yeah, so I just wanted to mention on SmackDown, I really love the Tyler Breeze Gable thing. I wish it was not an impromptu match that was put together. I hope this becomes an actual feud and they elevate Fandango and Breeze to be not on American Alpha's level, but like right below it. I think that would be smart for them because they're a really, really good heel tag team. And I feel like it's time to start making them more than just a comedy act. But at the same time, they don't really have any other comedy on SmackDown than them, and they're really good at it. So, I don't know, man.
Shall we talk about Orton and Wyatt?
Yeah, sure. That started off the show as the first match.
That is okay. Well, let me just tell you that I am a humongous. Well, you know this, but the people don't know this. I am a huge mark for "Burning My Light." I love that song so much.
Nothing you can say. Nothing's gonna change what you've done to me. Love that song too. It's really good.
Stay tuned for Smark City presents Alex Briggs covers of WWE songs.
No,
Only on the Smark City Network.
That would be great. Smart City Network for no money. Please just love us and give us hugs.
The fact that they're now starting his newer theme, which I also like. I didn't really like it as much at first when I started watching wrestling again, but I grew into it and I like it now. But I really love the "Burning My Light" intro riff leading into. I hear voices in my head.
Man,
you don't want to hear me cover songs.
I'm glad you went high on it. I'm glad you didn't just be like, "Hey, voices." That would, you got to commit for it. So props to you. Don't cough, Jesus Christ.
No, that was a joke.
Yeah, I got you.
So
you lost your point.
I had to actually drink my water. Because I did lose my. I got dry a little bit in this.
Got dry. Don't get dry.
I know I can't get dry. So I really, really like that leading into Wyatt's theme. I think that's just one of the greatest mashups. Technically it's not a mashup because it's not the song.
It's just an intro.
It's really good.
But what's really good too is when I look back on Orton's career, like "Burning My Light" was really, really good for him as a young guy because it kind of fit that really overly arrogant attitude he had. But then he reached the middle stage of his career where he was way more violent and kind of twisted in the head. So like the "I Hear Voices" fits that well. So like it's never been like awful, that change, but I definitely like his first theme better. I'm just glad he has one that fits him. But yeah, the intro, I like the new little footage blip, whatever you call it.
Beautiful. That's the other thing I wanted to say. Wow. That is, I just wish they always invested time like this on these little things because it just
they need to. You're totally right. It's so good when they do. Oh man, that's what just kills me about Raw is it's just shit. And they have the ability. They have the technology. Ugh. It's awful.
There you go, those noises.
Yeah. I mean I can make a plethora of noises. But I mean I'm so glad that is working out. People have gotten behind it. Really, really big fan of that.
Yeah. And I mean for what Beauty and the Man Beast were, they were a good hand to kind of close out that I need this job thing that Slater was doing that got really over, I have to say. I mean, I enjoyed it too. But I mean, that's not something that you could run with forever, So I think that was actually really, really smart of them to kind of close it out this way. And I mean, to be honest with you, people didn't even really want, from what I heard at TLC, because I did watch TLC the day after, it didn't even seem like people were that into Slater and Rhino. I mean, they barely got a pop when they came out. So I don't know. I mean, it was are you there? Oh, this is great. Something happened with Senor Alex. I didn't do this, I promise you guys. I did not mute him. Something's going on with his shit. So anyway, let me try and carry this on. Well, hopefully he tries to get back. Internet problems, this shit happens. So yeah, what I really think is that or it was just time now to kind of flip the table over and let Bray have a win finally. And I really like what they've been doing with the Wyatt family as of late since the brand split. I think that SmackDown, it's funny because SmackDown is kind of like just a time for these wrestlers to shine. And we've seen it with so many people. We've seen it with American Alpha. We've seen it with Miz, even though Alex doesn't really like Miz that much. But he can't say anything now because he's not here. With Miz, with Ziggler, who was just dead in the water for quite a while before the brand split. And we all knew that. You know, it was kind of time for him to go. A lot of people just couldn't stand him anymore. And look at what SmackDown did for Ziggler. It was really incredible. Yeah, it's just SmackDown is the place to be to really get yourself over. I mean, you look at the Raw roster and what Raw does. Raw has a lot of talent. You know, Raw has a lot of talent, but unfortunately they don't book the talent right. They really don't. You know, you got Sasha and Charlotte in a feud that's going on forever that I really am just ready for it to end at this point. You got Kevin Owens always having to have help in his matches in order to win. Which, you know, I if you all remember, if you ever listened to me, I marked out like crazy when Kevin Owens won the championship, even though it was with Triple H's help. But they ruin it. And and funny thing is too that people are expecting Triple H now, and they're not giving us Triple H. People thought Triple H was going to come out last night when Seth Rollins called him out. Nope, they don't give him Seth Rollins. They don't give him Triple H, and it's like, why do you do these weird booking decisions like that? It doesn't make sense. When people want something, you should give it to them as a wrestling product, because we're the people who bring your product, I think, any type of legitimacy that you can. I mean, let's be real. WWE is not popular, and I think we all kind of understand that. WWE is not popular. I've said on my own Twitter, and I've said multiple times, that I really don't think in the long run John Cena on SNL does anything. I don't think John Cena on SNL is going to bring maybe I would say 25 to 30 new viewers to the WWE product. Tops. It's not really going to do anything, because that's not what WWE is a niche product, and there's only certain people that are willing to watch the show and go, oh, you know what? Okay, and I'm talking about casual fans, or, you know, anybody new to the product. Anybody come in and be like, oh, you know, this is really cool. I'm going to stick around. I like Enzo, or I like Rusev. I like anybody. The problem with WWE is just that they don't listen to people on Raw, at least. And this is where I'm going, with the SmackDown talk. SmackDown is a phenomenal show to get yourself over. Any wrestler, look at James Ellsworth. All right, sometimes, the James Ellsworth thing gets a little bit played out, but, it's, I don't know, WWE just, as a passionate fan, makes everybody, gives everyone passion, whether it be for good, whether it be for bad. It needs to get better. And I think that SmackDown helps a lot. And if I were to suggest to any casual fan or anybody trying to, get into WWE, I would suggest them to watch SmackDown for sure. They need to watch SmackDown and get a feel for what great booking and great wrestling really is, because you just don't get that kind of stuff on Raw these days, or for a while now, even before the brand split. I think that now was a great time to finally jumpstart again, because, let's face it, a lot of people have differing opinions on John Cena. Back then, a couple of years ago, when Bray was really starting to come up, John Cena pretty much buried him. Just like he buried the Nexus, and I won't get into that. But the point, you know what I mean. The point is that now I think was a fantastic time to get Bray a win, on this show, because he deserves a win on this show for sure. I'm guessing Alex might not be back. That's my. I'm gonna message him really quickly and see if he's able to get back here. And otherwise, I'll just talk about the main event and get out of here, because my voice is boring. I imagine my voice is boring. You guys have any, questions? Something, you could ask me in the little YouTube chat gimmick here, and I'll, answer them for you. Let's see. I'm starting to get an answer from Alex, so we'll see what happens with that. I thought really that this whole show was fantastic, and SmackDown again. SmackDown just it's a superior show, and is there bias in there? Probably, but what human isn't doing this on bias, right? You have great wrestling, great entertainment, and people have, they have their perceptions and their opinions on what the Ellsworth thing is going on, or opinions on John Cena. But I think that SmackDown is the better show to watch. I mean, it's the one that people are always positive about. I don't see many people being positive about Raw these days. So, anyway, Alex's net is out, so he will not be back tonight. But let me just talk about the main event, because the main event was really great. Miz and Ambrose, they always had good matches. Starting to get a little stale before the brand split, but great thing about the brand split, even though wrestlers who wrestled each other multiple times are on the same show, I have to say, for WWE's credit, they have not been kind of oversaturating feuds. So good on them for that. I give them props for that. So the main event, I think that exactly what was done needed to happen, for sure. Ellsworth comes out again, and this was the right call, because Ellsworth needs to be a delusional babyface instead of a um a heel. I think that it works better with him as a delusional babyface. And let me know if you think that too. In the chats or on Twitter. Tell us what you think. We always love talking to you guys. Yeah, I mean, it was done properly, and Ambrose is going to kill him. We all know the Chinless Wonder is going to die. It's funny. It's really funny how Tuesday nights have become just a great night for wrestling, and especially with 205 Live now. The first 205 Live last week was okay. It was only made amazing by Rich Swann winning the Cruiserweight Championship. So I'm hoping that they do some good stuff on 205 Live tonight. As for that, I talked to Alex before we came on this show, and I talked to him about potentially doing a 205 Live / NXT podcast on Wednesdays, because I saw last week's SmackDown podcast separate from 205 Live didn't do as well as I thought it was going to. So I've decided, all right, DX Goldie, I've decided that I think it's better that we'll do the SmackDown podcast right after SmackDown, fresh, getting it to you guys immediately. Tomorrow, after NXT, and Wednesdays going forward, we'll start including NXT back into our Smark City programming, so to speak, because I know NXT is doing good stuff. Unfortunately, I haven't been watching it. I haven't watched NXT. Well, I watched NXT Takeover, and we did talk about NXT Takeover, the last one, but haven't been watching it really. Bobby Roode, love Bobby Roode. Think he's been doing great work. I think DIY. I got my DIY shirt in the mail. Love those guys. They're killing it. Shinsuke, I think he's a great wrestler. I think him and Joe, Joe gets downplayed by Alex, but I really think that Joe is a fantastic worker. I think he's a great wrestler. And sorry, Alex. Man, it's kind of fun when I can talk and I don't get interrupted by him. So yeah, I really think that WWE is doing great right now. Raw might be doing, Raw is what it is. But SmackDown, NXT, 205 Live now, I think, they have some great stuff, and they're finding things for somebody. So, you can always come to WWE for something. For the Cruiserweights, for SmackDown, for NXT. If you're one of the people that happen to watch Raw and enjoy it, you've got Raw. So, it's got something for everybody. And we're trying to, I have to say personally, and this is a shoot right now, personally, I'm not happy with what's been going on with Smark City. I've been busy. Alex has been busy. We got Chris. Chris is busy. Chris is now doing Zentrification at Zentrified on Twitter. Plug him. Chris has been doing ref training. I think that's fantastic. Great for him. We're all really happy for him, and I hope that goes well. We've got a lot of stuff going on, and we haven't been able to really get Smoke City on the ground the way that we wanted to. But now Alex is going to be graduating on Saturday, so that's fun. Graduating college. The children grow up so quickly. They do. And I'll be finishing up my semester in a couple weeks, and expect a lot of good stuff from Smark City leading into Christmas and into 2017. Because we're really going to dedicate ourselves to this, and maybe we'll get a couple of new people in, get a couple of new podcasts in, some new voices. We know we're working on stuff. It's not just, oh, we're going to talk to you guys on Twitter during pay-per-views, or an occasional Raw when we're shitting all over it, or occasional SmackDown when we're loving every moment. We want to really get involved, and we want to really touch the base here. And Smarks, we're all about everybody, not just Smarks. We're about the casual fans. We're about everybody. So we're trying here. We're just a bunch of college kids and workers trying to get a differing opinion from what you hear on other podcasts and what you see on other Twitters. So we're trying to get there. With that being said, I think I'm going to end this now, because we've gone over an hour, and I've been talking probably for a good 15 minutes by myself, for 20 minutes or so. So, Daniel Price, please do that. If I knew his address, I would absolutely privately give it to you and totally not give it out on the podcast. And I really, really, really would do that. That's fantastic. For those of you who won't see the chats later on who listen to this, Daniel Price said that he'll send Alex a congratulatory card with Naomi on it, and on the inside it will read, "Doesn't the warm glow of education feel good?" Daniel, that's fantastic. I really wished that could happen. Oh, man. Well, anyway, this is Smark City. I am Mr. Big Money Drew. That's my Twitter saying, by the way. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I am at Nicholas Drew 91. Alex, if you don't follow him on Twitter, Alex is _brigade. And I mentioned Zentrified already, at Zentrified. Zentrification. That with a PH, not an F, as I found out later on. So, and we are at The Smark City, thesmarkcity.com. We love you guys. Until next time.